Hello and good evening to all of you. Is my voice audible to all? Yes, Sanobar, I am proceeding. I am just waiting for others to just join in and then we can start. Okay. So let's start our today's class. Our today's class is on ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, and the topics which we are covering in today's class is the business process, definition of business engineering, principles of business engineering and ERP, business engineering with information technology. So this is our today's class. So as you all know that what is business process, for getting anything into practicality and getting the process smoother so that things can easily work out and we can get the expected result, we need to make a process. When we talk in terms of corporate offices, when we talk in terms of business, it is called as business process. We need to have certain process. We have certain agenda at the starting. We need to achieve something. For achieving that particular thing, for getting the desired end result, we need to follow a lot of processes. Since the data on which we are working as on today's date, they are very heavy data. It's all about information. We are living in an information age, and we have to manage all the information in the desired format. So for that, raw information or raw data has to pass through a lot of technologies, lot of master data management softwares are there, lot of tools are there, reporting tools are there, which mobilizes or which transforms the data as per our requirement. So it all needs to have a process. We need to have a certain process for that. Okay. So because in nowadays, when we talk of IT, when we talk of software, we do not have to rely only on one particular system or one particular software. We need to have 2 or 3 softwares probably in the organization, and we want that each software must communicate with another software. So there should be a communication tool in between. So data is being moved from one system to another system to another system, and then from the last system to the first system. So all these things requires a process. That's why we document it, we create documentations, and that is the role of the business analyst in the department, to document the things, to make processes, to give trainings to the end users so that they can be aware of the process, and it will further help them in getting the job done. So that is our today's topic. Okay, so I think that's the introductory part of the business process. And before starting the class, I'll be playing one video for you on the business process. Everybody just watch this video and then we can move ahead.
Business Process Management. Business process management is a process-centric approach for improving business performance. It combines information technology with governance methodologies. So what is a business process exactly? A business process is essentially a standardized way to convert a set of inputs into a desired output that a customer would find valuable. An example would be a loan application at a bank. The customer supplies an electronic application form, typically via the bank's website. This information becomes the input into the loan application process. The business process itself may then consist of a credit check and other activities that enables the bank to make a decision about whether to approve the loan or not. The output of the business process is a decision that is communicated to the customer, followed by the money being paid into the correct customer's bank account. We can say that the business process transforms several inputs into specific and more valuable outputs. In general, we can define the output of the process as everything that emerges from the process. The primary output is what is desired by the customer, in this case, the money they wanted to borrow. The secondary output is perhaps an email notifying the customer of the decision. The input to the process is provided by one or more suppliers. This is often in the form of information. The customer can be an internal customer like a manager at the bank, or the external customer who applied for the loan. Even another subsequent process can be thought of as a customer that is consuming the information created by the first process. Any entity that demands and consumes process output is considered as a customer. The three pillars of BPM is technology, people, and processes. All three aspects need to work for a BPM project to be a success. The business process needs to be fit for purpose and actually satisfy the demands of all the stakeholders. The people aspect also need to work. If the customer neglects to provide all the required information, the web page will alert him or her that the application form is incomplete. If a manager forgets to approve a certain process step, she will get an alert, and if she still ignores it, the alert will escalate to her manager, and the so-called process owner will also get an alert that the process is stuck. This level of visibility is impossible to achieve without good technology. For the automation to work smoothly, the information system needs to work seamlessly all of the time. It normally takes a large team of experts with IT and business knowledge to implement a BPM project. The project team will study a related set of business processes in great detail and then try to redesign it, with the objective of optimizing it so it is fit for purpose. This happens during the design phase of the project, where the processes are carefully designed to be as simple and straightforward as possible, so it can be completed in the shortest possible amount of time without making mistakes. During the modeling and simulation phase of the project, the process is documented in the form of an activity model. It is then possible to simulate the behavior of the system and try out different scenarios through a what-if approach. Once the process is approved by management, it is deployed. This occurs during the execution phase of the project. The project team will then monitor the performance of the business process to see if anything goes wrong. This is the monitoring phase. If any problems arise, changes will be made to further optimize the process to take care of exceptions. This occurs during the optimization phase of the project. A good BPM implementation will increase the visibility of the bank's activities, making it easy to monitor and control the critical business processes of the bank. It provides management with an increased ability to identify bottlenecks, make improvements where needed, and reassign resources to meet customer demand. It also provides an increased ability to identify further areas of optimization that will improve customer satisfaction or lower transaction costs. A good BPM system normally contributes significantly to reduced lead times, so the customer hears about the decision of the bank within days rather than weeks. BPM ensures better definition of the duties and the roles of the employees of the company. It's also a good tool for fraud prevention, auditing, and assessment of regulatory compliance. BPM system prevents the unfortunate situation where a customer who phoned to inquire about her loan application is transferred from one individual to the next and to the next, with all of them saying, "Sorry, it's not my decision, but let me transfer you to the person who deals with it." BPM uses a cross-functional approach, so the work is automatically moved from one desk to the next, without any need for manual intervention. Of course, training is crucial to ensure employees and managers know what is expected of them. Before a BPM initiative is launched, it is really important to get the buy-in and active support of senior management. The project leader needs to manage the expectation of all the stakeholders. Once the system is operational, the project is not yet complete. The team needs to listen to the customer feedback and make further improvements. In general, all the principles of change management needs to be followed to ensure success, because everybody's job will be a bit different after the project is done. Bill Gates once said, "The first rule of any technology is that automation applied to an efficient operation will magnify the efficiency. The second rule is that automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency." It is important to remember that the information technology being used is simply an enabler that can take the business, its processes, and management to new heights. It can create new, faster, and more effective businesses if used correctly, but it can't fix broken processes. The following are common mistakes when implementing a BPM system. It is a bad idea to start configuring the software too early, well before the business process has been studied and potentially re-engineered. Thinking in silos is also a bad idea. Many functions need to contribute to a business process, and unless it crosses functional boundaries, it is unlikely to create true value for either the company or the customer. Ignoring end users is also a recipe for disaster. Their needs and wants must be paramount. If the redesigned and newly automated process does not improve their experience of the service, then it is unlikely to be a success. Never use a BPM project to reduce headcount as the primary objective. People will find out and do their best to sabotage the project. People like to say, do it right the first time, but this is often unrealistic in a complex business environment. The idea is to build a flexible system that can be quickly adapted to changes in the business environment, for example, changes in banking regulations. It is a very bad idea to hardwire the framework. Not supporting users through adequate training and support is also a common mistake. And don't forget to celebrate when the system starts to deliver good results. People need to see that their efforts are appreciated. Relying on long-held beliefs or gut feel is dangerous, and it is better to trust the analytical data that the system generates to decide where to move your resources. Automating failure is a very common mistake. A bad business process that becomes fully automated will simply do the wrong thing more quickly. However, if BPM is implemented in the correct way and a good change management process is followed, it can have dramatic benefits for the business.
So this is the small video to kick off on the business process management. I think you people have some idea while after watching this video that business process management has three pillars. We have to understand the three important parts without which business process shall not be made is people, process and technology. You need to have people, you need to have process and you need to have technology. Sanovar, you want to ask something? You are typing something. Okay. So I hope this video is clear to everybody. Video is good but not simple. Okay, I'll explain it to you in more in detail. So you require to have see from where comes the concept of process. Process concept only comes when there should be an organization. If there is an organization, how people will communicate each other? There should be people for communication. For what purpose they will communicate? They will communicate for business purpose. When business keeps on growing, suppose the company started 1 year back, then 2 years, then 3 years, they need to have certain process to manage that particular data on which they are communicating. So how they will communicate? Either they will go with a manual or with a copy in hand to another person, then from another person to another person. Suppose if it's a big company of 5,000 people, how they will communicate? They need to have a technology for that. So all in all, when the company grows, when the business grows, when the company grows, people grows, employee grows, then when the employee grows, their things will become complex. So to handle that complexity, you need to have a process in place. And when you have a process, so for better communication purpose, you need to have a technology. So we can say that for business process, we need to have people, process and technology. So three pillars of business process management is, that is BPM, is people, process and technology. Clear to all, everybody? Okay. Then as per the video, you need to have a BPM life cycle. First is the design part. You need to design. Then you need a modeling part. Then you need execution part. Then you need to monitor. And then optimization. So this is the life cycle of the business process management. First you need to design. When I talk of design, you need to create a technical design as well as a functional design. Technical design is required for technical people so that they can develop that particular software or write script or code for that. Okay, now moving ahead. Then what are the benefits of What are the benefits of business process management? Increased visibility, identify bottlenecks, optimization, reduce turnaround time, and define roles. These are the benefits if you have a proper business process management being implemented into your company with the help of technology. Then things will be clear to everybody. It will also help you in identifying your problems with the system or any queries, or you want to make some modifications into the system, and you can accordingly optimize your system as per the need. With the help of that system, you will be able to solve the end user or the customer queries in a very quick time. So because of that, your turnaround time will be reduced, and because of the process in place, the roles of every employee will be defined so as to avoid any kind of confusion. So these are the benefits of business process management: increased visibility, identifying bottlenecks, optimization, reduced turnaround time, and definition roles. These all benefits are I have typed it on the chat box. Then another responsibility of the business process people is that it should be cross-functional. Cross-functional means if there are 3 to 4 systems in the company, if there are 3 to 4 systems, since the complexity is being increasing, so to manage the complexity of the data within the organization, companies are hiring more than one system, say 2 or 3 systems. So cross-functional means business process system will able to communicate with not only with one system, but it can communicate with any of the systems in the company. So that is the advantage of business process management. Like SAS tool, I think all of you have heard the name of the SAS. So SAS is an analytic tool. So with the help of SAS tool can communicate with any of the systems in the company. Or ClickView tool. So with either of these tools, can communicate with any other system within the company. These SAS and ClickView are the software tools which are available in the market. You have to purchase licenses of the tools which you want to use, and you have to get the licenses renewed every year. Clear to all, everybody? Okay, now coming back to the slides. Let's see the overview of the business process first. So it is saying, how do I organize all the data that will be collected? How am I going to collect and process data about all the types of transactions that SNS is the name of the company will engage in. So this is the challenge. So how should I design the AIS so that the information is reliable and accurate? So the three basic functions of accounting information system is, they have taken one case for that. So basic AIS section is collect and store data, provide information useful for decision making, provide adequate controls. Then what should be the transaction cycles? For that, a transaction processing cycle combines one or more types of transactions having related features or similar objectives. So this is the transaction cycle through which data has to pass by. A transaction cycle consists of a set of transactions leading to the recognition of major economic events on the financial statements. Then it is through the study of transaction cycles that we will gain a clear view of a firm's processing network. So basically all these things are required to design a process system. There needs to be a business process system. So for designing the system, you need to sit with your business people. Now let's just see this diagram. So this is a process which is being designed. So this is the small video we are talking of. Then this is a human resource cycle, this is expenditure cycle, a general ledger and reporting system. So this particular PPT is related to the accounting transaction. I'll do one thing. What I'll do is this seems to be a little bit complicated. I'll explain you. I'll explain what since I am working with an insurance company. When I'm talking of me, then I am Kaushik Seth, your tutor. I am working for an insurance company. Now, how our business works, that will be easier for you to understand. So I'll tell you how in my company how business process works. See, we have three systems in place. Just understand this. We have a core insurance system, that is policy 400. This is our core insurance system. I, Kaushik Seth, your tutor, is working for an insurance company. So this is my core insurance system. See, the role of the business is to get the premiums and the role of insurance business is to serve customers by selling insurance policies. So this is our core insurance system, that is policy 400. So, and we have finally in my company, policy will only be given to the customer if on that particular policy there is a number which is being generated by the P400 system is being mentioned on that. Unless and until the policy is being submitted into that core insurance application, policy is not yet set to be finalized. So that is one way of purchasing policies. Then we have a front end application that we are using, that Oracle CRM. This is our second technology. Oracle Civil CRM. Then we have another technology, that is, so I just want to tell you that in today's world you cannot rely on one technology. Web-based portal. Then we have web-based Java portal, which is also used for selling policies. So it's a two-way communication. That means a customer can purchase policies through Java based web portal, as well as it can also purchase policies through CRM. Then we have a database here. In which all the data gets stored. That means from P400 the data goes into the system. Also from Oracle CRM data goes into the system. And also from web based portal data goes into the system. Now database, there are two company databases we are using. One is Oracle and one is DB2. These are the two databases which we are using. So final policy has CRM number, P400 number and CRM number. And this is mandatory. So unless and until the insurance policy is having these two numbers, policy will not set to be enforced. Then it's a two-way communication. So this is how business process looks like. I mean, you need to have a process in place so that one should understand what. Now, to communicate between these two systems, how these two systems will communicate, you require another tool. So that tool is called as Cordis, and it is the BPM tool. BPM tool is Business Process Management Tool. So this particular tool BPM tool helps in communication between two systems. That is the role of the BPM tool. So, will you able to understand or visualize this particular diagram? This is the process. This is the process I am talking about. Business process. Okay. Now when we talk of to monitor now this is the IT system. And what are the things which is required to monitor the system? You need to have IT governance, which comprises of policies, risk management, IT infrastructure, budget allocation for IT, and most important is IT should always work for fulfillment of business needs. Without business needs, IT has no meaning. Then also you need to have, what are the things which is being missed out here is IT infrastructure, means everything, help desk activities, networking, software development, then support. You need to have a database administrator, that is DBA. Then you have a project manager. Then you need to have a business analyst. Then you need to have a project, that is PMO, that is a project management. Then you need to have IT head. So these are all people which are required So I think with this particular diagram you will be able to understand how the business processes are made. Then what are the, you need to create, implement a business logic. You need to have technical design. You need to have functional design of the system. You need to have strategies. Then we need to have vendor management. So all these things are required. So this is a process, and all these things are necessary for successful completion of a project or for successful or proper functioning of the IT department for the fulfillment of business needs. So this particular diagram, I am telling you about my company, that we have all these systems in place. So with the help of all these systems, we used to serve customers, the end users, for selling insurance policies. Our policies will only get submitted once we have the once we have the P400 number or policy 400 number. Unless, since this is our core insurance application, so every policy printout must have this P400 number mentioned on that only, and that is the unique number which is being generated by the system. And with the help of that system, it will help us in tracing the policy, the desired policy. Clear to all? Everybody, any questions, any doubts? I'm not getting any reply from you. Is it clear to all? Sheikh says yes. What about others in the class? Prabha says yes. Rezi says yes. Sahil says yes. Mr. Monachen? Sanobar, Sahil, Asya? Okay. Now let's get back to the PPT again. So what is business process renewal? The measurable improvement of business performance through synchronized changes to a process, its guiding factors and its enablers. One more important thing which I have missed out in this is the change management. Since this is not permanent, technology keeps on changing, and to survive in the market you need to keep on updating yourself with the technology. Vendor management, then last is the change management. So I am talking about the business process renewal. So the measurable improvement of business performance through synchronized changes to a process, its guiding factors and its enablers. What is the business process? The business process is triggered by an external business event. It is comprised of all the activities necessary to provide the appropriate business outcomes in response to the triggered business events. Transform inputs of all types into outputs according to the guidance, policy, standards, procedures, rules, etc., employing reusable resources of all types. It contains activities which usually cross functions and often organization units. Has performed indicators for which measurable objectives can be set and actual performance evaluated. So it delivers a product or service to an external stakeholders or another internal process. It usually connects to other processes. And what is the definition of the business process? Ownership tends to be ambiguous, has multiple owners and cross-functional areas, usually clearly defined manufacturing and boundaries, often unclear due to cross-functional nature, manufacturing clearly defined, then control points, then measurements and corrective actions. So see, this is also one of the business processes breakdown. It is similar to somewhat what I have explained to you right now. Then what are the types of business processes? Core business processes are linked directly to external customers and their values. Core business processes meet marketplace demands on a day-to-day basis. Core business processes guide, control, plan, enable or provide resources to the core and other support business processes. Let's see how the framework for the process-based change is created. First is the business context, then architect and design, then vision, understand, renew, redevelop, implement and nurture to continuously improve. What are the factors which are required? Technology enablers, human enablers, project management, quality and risk management, and political commitment management. So this is the framework required for the successful completion or successful designing of the process flow within the organization. You need to have a people, you need to have technology, and you need to have process. Clear to all, everybody? Any doubts? Anybody wants to ask anything? Okay. So the model flow between business process, re-engineering and system development. Let's see its business context, architecture line, vision, understanding, renew, redevelop, implement and continuous improvement. Then plan, IS strategy, analyze, application, design system, develop solution. So this is a particular diagram which is demonstrating the business process. So why process is so important? Business differentiation, competitive advantage. The question is not whether to change but how to change. Then technology directly support processes, naturally cross-functional and organizational boundaries. Then financial pressures is to reduce costs, increase output, consistent quality. Then how to formulate process and project vision. Vision is to provide customers with a quality product developed in 30 minutes or less. Then step is to identify project performance improvement targets, that is KPIs. What are KPIs? KPIs are the key performance indicators. So whatever processes we are designing, that we need to ensure that that particular process must be designed in such a way that it will help in customer satisfaction. Number one, it eliminates non-value added activities. Number three, it reduces of exception. Number four, it improves the reliability of delivery. And number five, it increases customer satisfaction. That is the key performance indicators. Clear to all, everybody? Okay. Then second comes the CSF. What is CSF? CSF is the critical success factor. So food delivery within 13 minutes or less of orders satisfied customers. So this particular food delivery part is related to this particular process or the case study which this particular PPT is having. It is talking about the restaurants, the process designing. So that's why. And this critical success factors differs from project to project. What are the constraints? Delivery service vehicles are unreliable. Deliveries by taxi is not within our complete control. So one needs to define the process boundaries. Where does the process begin and end? Clarify perceptions. Then comparability before and after, apple to apple. There must be an apple to apple comparison. Then process components are input, guide, output and enabler. This is the project team structure. One is the project manager, then under that project manager there must be a software developers, testers, business analysts, Under that, there will be a lower level employees like data entry operators. So this is a hierarchy of the project team structure. Then one must understand the process. That means gather process information, decompose scope process into 3-7 sub-processes, develop modeling standards, model the process, determine process roles and responsibilities. How we describe our process activities? By action and objects. So what is process modeling? A diagram or map of a business process and the supporting documentation of related characteristics which identifies the activities performed and the information and product flows between them. That is the process modeling. So current process modeling is establishing the dot. So this is modeling the current process. What, how, and this is the workflow. So this is how we bifurcate the hierarchies in the company and allocate the roles and responsibilities at each level. That's why modeling is done. Then how we measure processes, review process and project measures, develop clarity measurement criteria, identify appropriate measures, gather measurement information, annotate the models and characteristics. How we identify appropriate measures? The process and project goals and objectives will determine required level of measurement. Can be a mix of process model levels. Should at least measure overall process performance. Details are required for incremental change. So how we review KPIs, key performance indicators through customer satisfaction. What are the project objectives? Eliminate non-value added activities, reduce number of this is specific to the restaurant part. So I'm not getting deep into that. I'm skipping some of the slides. Then how we validate and analyze processes? We run workshops, we observe the process flow, we decompose and prioritize process flow as per the business requirement, we identify evaluation criteria for quick wins, and we implement quick wins. This is how we validate and analyze process. Then what are the process analyzing techniques? The process mapping interviews and facilitated workshops, customer focus groups, supplier feedback, observing the full process, value added analysis, gap analysis, root cause analysis, and comparisons to document procedures. Then what are the business project milestones? Identify processes, identify enablers, prepare business technology matrix, identify IT project tasks, prepare action plan, search develop solutions, and implement and deploy, and finally improve continuously. So how we overcome resistance to change? We overcome resistance to change by communicate the what, why, how, and when, who, then educate and train new skills, and finally set goals, measure, provide coaching and feedback, and reward and recognize. This is how we can overcome resistance to change. That is when we are implementing a change management, we must take care of all these factors. Okay, clear to all, everybody? Any doubts? Anybody want to ask anything? So that brings us to the end of today's class, I think. I have a 6 questions quiz for you on this particular business process management. I've shared one link with you. Just click on that link, everybody. There is only 6 questions in that, and it's a quiz on business process management, that is BPM. Just click on that link and click on the start button, everybody. And once you are done with this, just please share the correct answers that you have scored. Just share your scores with me on the chat box, everybody. It's a very small quiz. Only 6 questions are there. So are you all done with it, everybody? Okay, not an issue, Prabha. You can try it once more. Then you can probably share the score with me in the next class. So there are 3 minutes more are left. You have 3 minutes more to complete the test. And after the end of the class, just share your feedback. I'm seeing that only 1 or 2 people share their feedback. I want that everybody must share your feedbacks after the class. So this is the small The class is about to get over in a minute. Just everybody complete that test and share your scores on the chat box. Good. Who has written that? Answer 4 correct. Sheikh Mohammed. Yeah, good Sheikh. Prabha says 5. That's great, Prabha. What about others? So thank you all for your time. Your class is going to get over in 17 seconds. Thank you all for your time. Take care. Bye.